What's going on, everybody? In this video today, we're going to be doing a retouch of a landscape photo that I took. This was the Harbor Head Lighthouse up in Acadia National Park in Maine. I got there pretty early in the morning, and it was still pretty dark. The sun hadn't quite come up yet. Let's see, this is at 1/10 of a second. It was really misty and cloudy. Maybe the sun had poked up a little bit, but you really couldn't tell. And it was definitely darker than this photo looked for sure. And I think I even took this handheld too. This was sort of on my way out after I had been down on the rocks trying to get some of the sunrise, but it just wasn't going to work out on this particular day. So I wanted to do a quick tutorial on how I kind of salvaged this photo a bit as best I could. So let's get into it here. First, to edit, I feel like there's two ways you can crop it here, either by using the roof like this to keep it straight there, or if you crank the dehaze up, you can kind of see the horizon line a bit. But the thing is, the horizon and this roof, I feel like they don't quite match. I feel like the lighthouse is slanted in towards the ocean a little bit. You can either crop it by the roof of the house or use the horizon, and I think this is sort of like a happy medium. So there's crop. Let's see. First thing I want to do normally is I touch the tone curve, but in the tutorial series where I was using this photo, I didn't, and I kind of like just sort of leaving the curve default. I'll probably bring the blacks down a little bit. Shadows up. Definitely going to use a graduated filter. Darken up the sky a little bit. I don't want it to look too HDR-like. And then I'm definitely going to bring the dehaze up some. Until about there. Bring up some clarity. Might even bring the exposure down just a bit. The first thing I notice is the sky here is still just a little bit too bright. I want it to really seem dark as you look out towards the water. So I'm going to go with an adjustment brush. I'm going to darken it. Something like this. And then I'm going to select a color for a range mask and pick a blue like out there. Hit O. Back to my brush. I can see the mask. Something like that, and then adjust the amount to where I get a nice blend. Maybe something like this. Try different blues. Actually, this one looks pretty good here. I'll hit O. And then I'll try to bring the exposure down even more, and I'll even bring the clarity down to sort of soften it just a bit. There, and you could even stop it at this. I mean, you can see the before here and after. Really saved a lot of the picture. It's pretty crazy what you can do in Lightroom these days. I might kick the vibrance up just a bit, actually. there's just two ways you can always go with this. I feel like sometimes I like adding a little bit of the vibrance, but it really can sometimes just tip the image over into the sort of digital look if you go too far with that, I feel like. So sometimes I just like to even scale it back a little bit. Might cool it down a little bit now. I really like that. You could even do a range mask on the trees here. Do a color on that green. Something like that. Something like that. And then you can turn the clarity up a little bit. Maybe just brighten those a little bit. Anyway, I think this is pretty good. And I think in the class or in my tutorial series, I did a little Thomas Kincaid effect on the light, where just brighten the exposure up a bit, softened it, give it some feather, and then I feel like that is always a neat effect. You can even give it a color in the orange or red. You get the idea. Anyway, so yeah, that's my edit of this photo. That's how I managed to save it a little bit. It was not a particularly pleasant morning. Visuals wise, I was really hoping to get a nice shot down on the rocks of the sun actually coming up, but we got skunked that morning. But anyway, there's always, but the day isn't always lost. You can still do a lot in Lightroom to save photos, and this is just an example of that. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to check out my Lightroom for Beginners playlist that I got going on right now. I'm trying to get a couple videos up there each week for that one. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like, subscribe button if you found this content useful, and see you in the next one. Cheers.